What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and this one is from Season 2, Episode 7. Could have been the best episode I've seen so far. I know Episode 6 was good, but this could have been better, and if you're into theories and crafting and all that good stuff, we'll do the recap, and then I'll give you all those things as soon as I'm done. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. I have a lot to talk about. There were a lot of good jump scares in this piece, and there were a lot of good things. We got a few answers, but we got some more mysteries. Let's get right to it. The episode picks up right where the last one left off in its usual style, and we get confirmation that Fatima is pregnant. And after that, we jump right to Boyd, and we see that the sunlight has hit the body of the smile creature outside and has had no effect on him. They all go outside and examine the body. Now, I don't know why Ellis had to go out there in his condition, but he had to go out there to look at the body, and that's when they start discussing what to do with it. Kenny, gangster as he is like, burn it. I'm about to burn it, and I think that they should try to burn some of these creatures, but at this particular time, he's 100% wrong in this situation. They do come to the decision that they should come to, and that is, let's bring this body inside and learn about what's going on. It all came down to Christy to make the final call. Boyd put it on her, and she made that call to bring this body inside so that we can have an autopsy. Now, I told y'all from a long time ago we were going to get this autopsy. It was going to happen, and it did. During this time right now, Boyd tells Ellis that he's going to have to go back to Colony House because if he stays down there, then a lot of people are going to come down and check on him to make sure he's all right, so he has to get up out of here. Another thing that is weird about this time is that the face that Elgin is making the whole time, there's something going on with this kid. He's seeing some crazy stuff. He just seems so distant from this whole situation at the whole time. You know, there's something definitely going on with them, and we will talk about that later in the episode, I promise. We then jump to Colony House, and we see Dale talking to Donna, trying to figure out what's going to happen to him. She has him on lockdown. He can't get out of the room, and we have the people who came off the bus still concerned that this guy could do something to them. Like, listen, we already seen someone get stabbed once, so why wouldn't it be the same situation go down? We then have Jim get into an argument with Tabitha because Dave kids want to go out and he wants to keep them in, and we see that Tabitha doesn't believe Jim's theory. She says it to him straight up. She also brings up that how did he know that the voices are human? Now, this is twice we have heard this. 2 times we heard the voices not being human, right? We heard it from Donna told Jim that he may not know the voices are human, and now we have Tabitha saying that he doesn't know the voices on the radio are human. I don't think they're going to say that twice and then not mean something. So that definitely is something to look forward to as this season goes on. Jim also says that when Tabitha was in the tunnels, that maybe they wanted her to be in the tunnels. That maybe these people who are watching want her to think certain things. Now, I don't think that goes that far. I don't think they wanted her to see what was in those tunnels. I think that she got put down there and they collapsed the house on top of her to prevent anyone else from going into the tunnels. But Jim is just starting to be a big conspiracy theorist about a lot of things. I do think he's right on some things, but the tunnel situation is something I cannot get behind when he's talking about that. After this, we see the drone whip right by Jim, and after that, we see Randall with the drone. And Jim starts thinking about a situation on how he can use that drone because Randall seems to have good control of it. They got the smile monster on the slab, but Christy's girlfriend starts going through withdrawals as they start arguing about whether they should open this body up due to the fact that the worms are inside. Jim goes on the bus and confronts Randall, asks him more questions about the drone. Randall does become a little dickish, asking Jim if he's some type of, Jim tried to tell him, hey, why don't you come with me somewhere? Randall's like, listen, man, I don't know about you right now. You seem a little suspect. I don't know if I want to take a walk with you. After that, we get Ethan and Victor. And they still got that little kid fight going on and everything, but Victor does break down eventually during this scene and asks Ethan to help him start tracking the trees. Victor does bring up again that the trees' leaves are falling down, and he says that anytime there's change here, that it's a bad thing. But Ethan said if this is the first time, maybe at this time the change that's happening is a good thing. I've said it many times that anytime this little boy speaks, we must listen to everything he says. Though the leaves are falling off and it does seem like a bad thing is going to happen, the fact that Ethan said that it could be a good thing, somehow this could be a good thing. I'm believing it. We then go back inside of the clinic and we have Boyd and Chrissy, and they're still talking about what's going on. Chrissy's having a hard time with her girlfriend because she feels obligated, because she said when she first met her, she was under a year of recovery. She was good on that, and then she disappeared, and that's what she thinks made her relapse. So it seems like she got engaged to this chick very quick because she met her, and then all of a sudden a year later, it seems like she was already good for a year. How long they were together doesn't seem they were together that long before they got engaged. So this was a really fast engagement, and I think that does help Kenny out in the end. If y'all are still trying to get those two together, I think this could be a help for them. A really good scene that we get here is Tabitha finally talking to somebody about what happened to her, and that's Jade. Jade's in the bar trying to make the wine or alcohol taste a little better, this from hooch that they got going on here, and she starts talking about what happened to you. Why didn't you freak out when you see me acting like that? And then he starts spilling his guts to her about what happened. At this time, he tells her about how he was attacked by an angry Civil War soldier. That's when Jim found him down there, and if she wants any more stuff from him, he's playing the Victor game, right? The same thing Victor did to him. Hey, you want information from me, you got to do this for me. So now he's doing the same thing to Tabitha, saying, hey, if you want information, you need to help me fix this alcohol machine because I need to make some better from hooch. After that, we go back to Jim, and he takes Randall inside where they collapsed the RV, and they find an antenna. So his plan is to take that antenna and put it on top of the drone, and when he does that, he thinks he can get a better signal and possibly get in contact with somebody, which I can't see that working, but we'll talk about that later. Ellis is back with Fatima, and Julie goes and visits them. After that, Donna comes in with some food for them, even though there's a shortage. Donna explains to him it's a temporary crisis. Elgin's sitting on the porch, and again Julie comes down, second time they've seen each other in this position, and he asked her if she could take a walk with him because he needs to get some things off his chest. Speaking about getting some things off your chest, we see them start operating on the Smile Monster, and when they do, his body, the nerves make him move, and everybody once again freaks out. Kenny then goes into a whole bitch ass mode. I can't give you no props for this, Kenny. You start talking about how you love this chick, but now because it's not the same, because there's other girls there, and just to me, it's just not the time or the place to even go down. If you really love this chick and you want to explain to her, you got to act like you still there, son. I don't know. I don't want to give you no dating tips, man, but this just was not the place to act this way. A lot of bitch assness, I have to call it, in Kenny in this episode, especially at this particular time. Just accept the fact and let them do what they're doing and keep it rolling. This was not the time to talk about your relationship or your wannabe relationship with this chick. And as you can see from her face, she was not really wanting to hear it. Not at this particular time. Bad move by Kenny. Right after this scene, we then see Chrissy's girlfriend wake up. She was trying to sleep off everything, and when she does wake up, she's looking around looking for people, and she can't find anyone. It seems like nobody's in the clinic. She goes downstairs, the smile monster is gone, and then all of a sudden he pops up in front of him. Boyd starts putting some rounds in the smile monster, telling her to run, and then she wakes up and it was just a dream. In this dream, we see again the music box, and I'll talk more about the music box when we get through the recap and we start talking about theories. After that, Fatima goes and visits Donna, and she tells Donna that she's pregnant, but not only is she pregnant, she's not supposed to be able to get pregnant. Donna is just ecstatic that finally somebody, I guess, is having a baby. This is a different side of Donna we've been seeing lately in these last couple of episodes, a more nurturing, motherish type Donna, and that makes me afraid that Donna could be up to something. There could be something going on with Donna, whether she's the mole or whether she's going to get got before the end of this season. Something makes me think that there is something going on here with her at the end. Donna tries to give us some encouragement, and she says a line that I like, I never heard anyone ever say, is that, you know, basically a miracle is the other side of a nightmare, right? So this, the fact that it's not supposed to be possible, and it is possible, maybe it's a miracle, or maybe it's an experiment. This is a girl who was supposed to not be able to have kids, and now all of a sudden she's pregnant. Seems more like an experiment than that, if you ask me. We then go back to Jade and Tabitha, and this is when he starts getting into more details about what he's seen down in his visions. He talks about the picture that has Victor in it, and she spots that really quick and knows that that's Victor just like that. It wasn't like it was hard. She just knew, that's Victor right there, right? Which is shocking. And she says that he has different visions every time, which is true, but she keeps having the same one. So it's a little bit different. They're both getting visions, but she keeps having the same one, which is not true. I think she's overlooking what she happened to her when she was inside of the lighthouse, that vision. She never had that vision before. So that's two different visions that she's getting there in the end, and I don't think she put that together yet because she's just focusing on the kids, but she has gotten two different visions, not just the ones with the kids. Again, we get to Ethan and Victor measuring the trees and trying to figure out exactly, are the trees moving or are they not moving. Victor claims that they are, but we'll have to see how that turns out. It took all episode, but they finally start the autopsy. They pull over the rib cavity, and all of the insides of this monster are dried up. She says just like it would be in a museum, everything is just dry to the bone. There is no blood, no anything inside of them until she starts puncturing it, and inside they find some bile that's in there. So Boyd then takes the bile and he puts it inside of a dropper, and he grabs it because they're thinking that they can use something to help kill this monster. Again, we're going to talk more about this as soon as we're done with this recap because I got a lot to say about it. We got Elgin then talking to Julie, and then she tells him, when I want to feel a certain way, feel better, what I do is I lay inside of a tub, and when I go inside the tub, I let the water hit me right on the ears, and I just disappear and zone out. I used to do that myself. I think a lot of people. But he says that he is having a hard time deciphering if what he's seen is real or not. We heard Victor say those exact same words. That he didn't know if what he was seeing was real or not. When the actor came on the channel, my channel here, he said those words, that Victor wasn't sure if everything he was saying that he's remembering is real or not. That's why you need to be subscribed to the channel to get insight like that. Finally, Fatima goes to tell Ellis what's going on. We don't actually see her do it, but she goes. Boyd then offers Kenny the badge back, but Kenny does not want to take the badge back at this particular time. He just walks up. Again, if you don't have the badge, Why is Kenny allowed to carry the gun? Christy's girlfriend tells her about the nightmare she had and says Boyd's dreams are getting into her head, and she says she's going to speak to Boyd about it. We see Elgin then try to take Christy's advice and go into the tub and do this, and while he's inside of this tub, he is dragged underneath this tub. The music box is then again, seems like in the real world. While he is being drowned in the tub, we see a figure overhead that looks like a zombie, and that is where the episode ends. Let's get right into it. All right, first things first, I know everybody wants to talk about this zombie, what's going on with this zombie, and who is this zombie. Right off the bat, I think this is a dream. I don't think this is really happening to Elgin. I don't think that he is being drowned. Every time we have seen this music box, it's been somebody in a dream, unless it was Boyd from the beginning. But every time after that, it's always been a dream. So that's what I think is going on here. But in this dream, let's get into it. 100% that this zombie is Fatima. We could tell by the clothes that she's wearing. Take a look at this picture right here. This is a shot from earlier in the episode, and I just think that we have to say 100% that it's the exact same shirt that she's wearing. So what's going on here right now? It does look like this has to do with some type of drowning situation, right? I told you before that there's a good chance that this whole town is going to get flooded out. When we look at when Tabitha came from the tunnels with Victor, she clearly says, where is this water coming from? And that is one clue. The next clue we got was Victor's drawing. He actually drew a flood with people hanging out on top of the rooftops and the whole place being flooded out. So it looks like Fatima might be a victim. I told you that somebody major was going to die this season. They had to get rid of somebody. It could be that Fatima is a person that does get killed and drowned out this season in the Brundles out there when the water flows up. But if we're gonna go that far, let's go a little farther with it. What if this is all alternate dimension situations and this person was Fatima already dead and her body is at the bottom of the Brundles already? I've said it many times that I do believe that the alternate dimension theory I came up with is what it is, and that these people have been there for a long time, over and over again, until they get this experiment right. It could be that situation. It all comes down to Elgin. Victor, when he's seen Elgin, said he does not trust Elgin. Why doesn't he trust Elgin? Out of all people, why did he pick Elgin not to trust? Fatima is definitely this zombie woman. She might get got with the baby inside of her. I don't know if they would actually do that. Cruel thing to do, but we will talk more about this a little bit later. When dealing with the autopsy, which is the most major thing that happened in this whole episode, we seem that this person supposedly has all human features inside of their body. So therefore, they were transformed into this creature. I believe that they used alien DNA, those alien extraterrestrial worms that were inside of them, and other things from outer space to turn these creatures into them. But why are they dried out like that? Why is the whole body just straight dry and that there's nothing in it? In fact, the only thing they could find inside of it was this bile, this yellow bile. Everything else completely dried out. So how is this person able to move with no organs and everything else? Someone is puppeteering these people, it seems like, and allowing them to walk around. How could that be possible? That's what I want you to put in the comment section if you think you have figured all that situation out. I have a few thoughts on the matter myself, and I'll make a separate video breaking down all of that. So look forward to seeing that. And also know that we will have the good doctor, yes, Chrissy, will be joining us live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can call in and ask her a question. You know the down, we're going to talk about this autopsy she just performed and find out exactly what's going on with everything else. I also think we have 100% confirmation from this episode that the flood will happen from the Brundles is where the water will start to rise up from. I do believe it'll come out of the cave, run into the Brundles, and that's where it's going to rise up from, because when we seen Elgin talking to Julie, he was standing right by a pool, and that's what he was looking at. That's what the Brundles are. It's like their little pool, right? That's what that fits in. All right, let me wrap this up right now. Hope to see you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.